Hi coloring friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. I feel so bad that the break from videos was so long. It certainly wasn't intended, and I'll talk about that a little more once I get into the coloring, but let me explain what I'm working on today. I found on Instagram, Coloring Heaven magazine had posted coloring challenge, and they give you a palette of colors to use, and then you match them the best you can, and then take the challenge to color a page. Um, so this is the color palette that they had put out there as the challenge. I did the very best I could to match to it. It's not perfect for sure, but I circled the ones when I couldn't figure out which one my pick was. So we have a brown, a pink, a dark purplish, a greenish, very, very light green, um, and then a gray blue, a very dark, what looked like a gray blue to me. So I went through my pencils and found matches the best I could. I was able to get most of them out of the Prismacolor set that I have, but I don't have a full set, so I had to branch out a little bit to find all the colors. But I chose the burnt ochre for the brown, the pink for the pink, the dark purple for the burgundy-ish shade, jade green for the green, light green shade. And then I went to my Starjoy Gold set and I chose the midnight color for the dark blue that they have. And what I'm going to work on is they actually put out the challenge to work with their newest issue that came out. I think it's still the newest. I'm always on a lag with getting them, but this is the Starry Night Special. And the artwork is by Weishan Ong. Hopefully I said that right. And I chose this page. It's called Touch the Star to use for the challenge. So, um, this book is so pretty. There's such beautiful pictures in it. I like that the color palette was inspired by, they have a picture of a starry night sky. Above the color palette. I'll pop a picture of that on here actually so you can see. Um, but I thought this one would be a fun one to do with those colors. Hopefully I can, make it work and look good. So I'm going to go ahead and move us in closer and then we will get to coloring and chatting. All right, so I think I'm going to start tackling some of these lots and lots of tiny flowers first, and my plan with the color palette is to do the flowers in groups of purple and pink bunches throughout her hair. So we're going to start with that first and we'll take it from there. It's definitely going to be a challenge because I think I'm really going to have to just vary the pressure that I'm using in different areas, especially with, I'm going to use the brown for her hair as well as her skin tone. And, I don't want her hair to be the exact same color as her skin tone, so I'm going to have to vary the pressure a little bit, and hopefully I can get enough of a difference that she doesn't look odd. But yeah, I happened to see this pop up on my Instagram feed, and I was kind of lacking inspiration for diving back into filming. I have ideas, but just to kind of get my feet back into it again, because it's been over a week since I filmed or posted anything, and which I feel terrible about still. Um, but yeah, so I saw this palette pop up, the palette challenge, and I thought, well, that could be fun. And I actually hadn't received my issue yet, so I just saved it. And I wasn't even sure if I was going to use the challenge on a picture from this magazine or just something else in a different coloring book. But today I thought, well, you know what? That's a good jump start for an idea for me to just sit and color, and an interesting challenge. And then I did end up getting this issue just a few days ago, which I feel like came faster than the last, well, the I think it's the Wildwood Witches was the one before this, and I still haven't gotten that one. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to, I guess, reach out and see if that was sent and got lost, or what happened, because I haven't gotten that one. And then the other one, the one before that, I can't remember which one it was now. That one came, I think over a month and a half behind what I was seeing different YouTubers, especially in the UK, posting when they got theirs. So, which is fine. Just, you know, you have to use patience with this subscription if you're, especially if you're in the United States. I don't know about other places, but I have heard that that is a common thing here. But anyway, so I thought, okay, I'm going to do the challenge. And then I thought, well, they picked their colors based on a starry night sky to go along with the Starry Night issue. So why don't I flip through and see if there's something that looks appealing to color that I think I could, make work with the challenge colors. And I landed on this one, so we'll see how it goes. I am imagining I'm just creating a whip for myself because it is March 29th and I don't think I will get this done. I have two whips that are just whips that I've had for well, this will be the second month that I really wanted to get done, and I'm close with them, so I want to focus time on them. And then I have a buddy color that I'm doing in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, um, with the wonderful Ever from The Humanity. They reached out and asked if I would like to do a buddy color to help me kind of push myself ahead with my challenge of finishing that book this year, which I desperately need. Um, so that's been fun, and I really want to get it done, so I can share with them and then share on here as a finished page. So I am also pretty close with that, so I'm going to focus my time on that. So this will likely be just a created whip that extends over into April, but that's okay. I just thought it would be something fun to try out. Yeah, and I don't know, some of March was, a bit of a coloring slump for me. I don't know, I just had trouble. And it wasn't that I didn't want to color, it was just I was very, I don't know, unsettled or uncertain about what I wanted to tackle, and yeah, just slumpy. I don't know how else to put it. Just slumpy. It was not fun. I don't like being in slumps for sure, because it's like being of two minds about something that you absolutely love to do. It's very frustrating. but I'm trying to pull myself through it. I think some of it was, and this goes into why I haven't posted anything for over a week. Work has gotten crazy. Just I felt like I had a few days off, and then every time I had off, I would get a call that somebody else had called out and could I come in and work. And I feel bad saying no when I have the ability to, but it takes away from getting any days off. So, and it's supposed to be a part-time job for me, and I'm definitely working over the hours I initially had planned to work. And then the next 2 weeks are going to be rough. I'm actually scheduled in for 40 hours both weeks. And then I think this week I'm coming close to that. I was supposed to have Wednesday off, and I've already lost that. I was called last night to see if I could come in this morning and cover for somebody, and luckily somebody else did step up and take that, so I was able to have today off, which I'm very, very thankful for. And don't get me wrong, the money is nice, and I'm not afraid of hard work or, wearing myself out working. It's okay. I don't mind working, but you burn out when you don't get enough of a break. So I think I'm partially worried about that. And then I have my family, so I get worried and guilty feeling when I feel like I haven't spent enough time with them, especially my youngest. And then I have my channel now, and I feel guilty when I'm not, posting. But if I've been on my feet for 8 hours and running around and answering questions for customers and all of that, I just don't have it in me a lot of evenings to, do much of anything else. My, big responsibility in the evening is making sure my kids are fed, and laundry is continuing going, and, all that household stuff. So that kind of has to take priority. It is what it is. We'll get through it. But yeah, I've been exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. I'm actually wondering, now that I'm looking at it, there's this rounded area, and I wonder if that's part of the flower or part of the stem. I think it might be part of the flower. Like almost like they're a bluebell type flower. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. How do I want to do that? Try to make them a little more defined. I don't want it to turn into a big purple blob, though. Ugh. Yeah. See if I can just kind of... And it's so tiny. It's kind of hard to do any kind of shading, too. I do really like the artwork in this issue. Beautiful job this artist did. That's definitely I think the best thing about a Coloring Heaven magazine subscription is, I don't know if I ever would have come across this artist otherwise, but now I have some of their work, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, and also a little over a week ago, my oldest was in a high school musical, and that included picking them up at after 11 o'clock every night of last week. And then on the day of the last show, they didn't get out until after 1:30 in the morning. And, you know, I still had to work, so that was exhausting too. That was kind of part of it, was I just couldn't do all the, and then I would bring dinner to the school because she just stayed there after school for practice, so rehearsal. So it was a lot of back and forth driving around to the school too. Which was well worth it because the job that those kids did was absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's just amazing to sit and see the talent that, you know, is right there in that school. They all did a wonderful, wonderful job. They did it was called Something Rotten, and it was sort of set in Shakespeare's time. But so it was cute. And there was a lot of dancing in it, so they had lots of dance rehearsal. They had a big group of kids that did tap dancing, which I'm still really impressed that there were that many kids that were that skilled at tap dancing at the high school. It's quite impressive. And then, of course, they're singing because it's a musical. But yeah, it was really fun. Kind of reminded me once again that I really should try to go to more high school level musicals in the area, because I mean I think the tickets were $12 if you bought them in advance, and then $15 I think if you bought them at the door. And like I said, the talent was amazing. I mean, and you can't beat that for entertainment. $12 and you got to see all this, besides the fact that it's clear that they pour their hearts into it, and to support that is, I think, really nice too. They deserve that. So, all right, I think I might switch colors just to change it up a little bit here. I'm going to move to the greenish, and I'm wondering if I went light enough with this, if I could use that as my center leaf color. And then do a little layering with the very light green. We'll see. See how that goes. Just do a little on each one of those. All right, then we're gonna come back in and yeah, I guess that works. That's okay. So how's everyone out there doing? Did you have a good coloring month of March? Or did you, like me, find yourself struggling through it a bit? Hopefully not. Hopefully you had amazing months of coloring. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a product of feeling overwhelmed and busy and stretched in a lot of directions with not a lot of downtime in between or breaks. And it's silly because coloring is a downtime for me. It's how I relax and kind of cope with anxiety. But it was just, sometimes you just get into a funk and you just left to muddle through it the best you can. But going very, very, very lightly with this because I don't want it to be coming across as blue, but I do like there to be a little bit of a variation in the color. This could take quite a while. There's quite a bit of these viney leaves on this page. I've already seen some finished pages from this, and I think Coloring Heaven even has a tutorial video with one of the pages from this book that's just absolutely gorgeous. People have done some amazing things with it already. All right, well, there's one. That's not too bad. All right, so I'm gonna keep with the vine and finish or work on this little one that's going up through her hair too while I'm at it. And then maybe I'll change colors again. I don't want the video to be too long today. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to just sit and color, like I said, I have today, and then I'm supposed to have tomorrow off, but I've just lately started living in fear of my phone buzzing and it being work asking me to come in. So I'm just not going to take the fact that I have tomorrow off. What am I trying to say? I'm not gonna buy into the idea that I have tomorrow off. That's what I'm trying to say. So that means that I have quite a bit of things to get done just in case. And if I end up actually getting tomorrow off, then I will likely be using it to film another video. That way I can hopefully prevent the large gap from happening again. I really did feel bad about that. All right, let's see. I am very, very nervous about her hair. If you saw my video where I worked on that was the issue before the witches one, was the fairy. There was a fairies one. And I did a little color and chat with that. And I discussed how I was disappointed with how her hair had turned out. But So I'm nervous to do the hair on her here because I would like it to turn out nice, but we'll see. Let's get this bunch of leaves too. I feel like once you get into the groove of how, okay, I know how I'm handling these viney leaves, it's like it's hard to step away and stop doing them because you're like, you kind of get in a groove. At least I do. It's like, okay, I figured out how I'm coloring this, and now I need to do all of them that way so they all turn out looking the same. Because if I step away, I might forget. The absolute worst is when you pull out a page that you had as a whip and you're like, oh, I really like how that was going, and then you absolutely cannot figure out what colors you were using. It's like, oh no, now it's not going to look the same. Why didn't I just sit and finish it, or at least get out a sticky note and write down the colors I was using? Yes, I've done that many times. Okay. Go. And while I'm at it, we'll do, I guess maybe I'll do these two and then hop over, and I think I'm going to do some pink fingernail polish on those fingernails. So, get these done really quickly. Yeah, I actually kind of like how these leaves are turning out. This is not anything I ever would have chosen on my own to do, but it's kind of an interesting combination. They do have on their website different color palettes put together like this. And you don't necessarily have to even use them as a challenge, but I do think it's kind of nice if, you're kind of stuck on an idea or you're looking at a page and you're like, I don't know where I want to go with this. That is a free resource you can go look at and, scoop up a color palette that's appealing to you. And that work is done for you then. You can apply it to the page you're looking at. I thought that was kind of cool. I'm going to have to check that out. Because I feel like sometimes I have to watch myself. I'll get into a bit of a rut where I grab for the same color combinations because I like them and they look nice to me, but sometimes it's nice to change it up a little bit and work with some different colors. This is kind of a way to do that without thinking too hard about it, I guess. But that's just right on their Coloring Heaven website. And I do believe they post a lot of those palettes on their Instagram page too, so you could just follow them there and maybe the inspiration will strike you when they post one of those one day. Just another nice resource out there. I think their website's pretty nice in general because they will post free pages out there to print out that you can print out and color also, which I think is really cool. And I don't believe you need a subscription to be able to access that. I think that's just right on their website. I will try to check into that and, make a note if I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. I think that's nice. Right. Kind of went into the black a little bit with that one. That's okay. These are very, very light. I'm hoping they're even showing up properly for all of you, but I'm also hoping that once I add some of the other colors around it, like her hair, the darker brown, that they'll sort of pop a little bit more. I'm going to hit her fingernails with a little polish here. Give her a nice pink. There we go. And I don't know the best way to approach this, but since I already have the pink in my hands, I'm going to go ahead and give her some pretty pink lips too. This is, I feel like my comfort zone in coloring is probably flowers. I definitely feel more comfortable coloring in like a Lulu Mayo style book where you can kind of let your imagination go where it wants. And my struggles are definitely portraits. My comfort level is not there yet with how to properly handle portraits. Oh, I don't know. I guess that's okay. Maybe I went a little too heavy with that. There could have been a bit more of a shine on her lip there. I might go back later with an eraser and try to take that away. Okay, and just in the interest of making sure I get to use every color in the video, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the brown and the burnt ochre, and I'm going to try to work on her skin first. Now I'm going to go way lighter on the skin, I think, because that way I can go darker with the hair and then even deeper in some of the areas where the hair would be overlapping. So that's my game plan, and it's going to be super hard for me because I like to be heavy-handed, and especially with a Prismacolor, I have a lot of trouble keeping it light and even and smooth. So we'll see. I'm going to do the best I can. And honestly, I've heard the trick of just, hold your pencil way, way back. I just can't. It's not comfortable for me. So rather than do that, I just try to really commit myself mentally to not pressing hard. So if you hear me go quiet, that's why, because my brain is telling me, don't press too hard. And I think this would have been way easier for me with like a Brute Fooner. I feel like I'm do a little better with those when I need to go lighter and then layer. I don't know why, but I guess we all have our different comfort levels with different pencils, but those really have clicked with me. But I left my browns of the Brute Fooners, a tray of them, in the bedroom, and my husband is sleeping, so in the interest of not disturbing him, I went with what I had access to out here, so there we go. And I don't know, I may end up going over this with a burnisher. I like to use, especially with Prismacolor, the Derwent burnisher. I've liked using that a lot, just to smooth out the color and kind of get rid of the tooth of the paper, and especially on paper like this, it is definitely toothier than a, you know, Johanna Basford or Hannah Carlzon or one of those. And I actually don't mind coloring on this paper. I kind of like it, but I do find that it's nice to kind of eliminate that tooth. All right, I really want to let this be the very lightest if I can manage it. Let that be darker there. Yeah. Try and go a little deeper in here because that would be darker. There we go. All right, I want to try the burnisher, but I'm a little nervous. Well, hopefully I was in frame enough there. I wasn't even paying attention. Goodness. All right, here we go. I'm trying it. We'll see how it ends up. Well, wait a minute. So one thing you have to watch out for with the burnisher is, see how my tip has blue on it. Apparently I used it on a blue thing last, so I'm going to scribble that on a scrap piece of paper to get that blue off before I start going over there, because otherwise she will have a bluish tinge to her skin, and I do not want that at all. Okay. All right. Do I want to do this? I'm so nervous to do this. I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to leave it be for now. Goodness, I'm so wish-washy about it. All right, we're going to leave it be for now and work on her hand here. So I know I haven't used that dark blue very much in the picture so far. My main plan for the dark blue is to use it for the frame here. And I'll go, you know, pretty solid with that color on the frame. And that is where the blue will come in on this picture. Let it be darker in the crease area and then lighten it up all the way out. There we go. Be quite light there. Okay. this finger here. Be lighter. All right, we're getting there. So I keep waiting for warmer weather to arrive. That would be wonderful. We've had just a day here and there where it's been nice and warm, but the past few days it has been cold again. We had like on and off snow flurries yesterday. Nothing major, and I think it snow flurried the day before too. And the wind's been just frigid, and I feel bad for all the animals that are out and all the birds. We have a street nearby that's named after some spring peepers that come out, and you can hear as soon as it starts. I mean, it's been a few weeks now that we've been able to hear them, but as soon as spring gets close, you hear them come out, and you can hear them peeping in the evening and through the night. And I feel bad for them when it gets this cold again. I don't know if they can freeze and then unfreeze, because I don't know, but I should look it up and read about them. But I feel bad for them because it has gotten quite cold. Although we did have one big cold snap after they first popped out, and then it got warm again, and I went out and listened for them, and they were all back out peeping away. So I guess they can handle it, but all right. Okay, so there's that. Let's see. Maybe I'll work on a few of the pink flowers that are in her hair. Get a little more of that pink in, and then I might call it. Because the laundry is calling me. But I did want to make sure I used all the colors in the video, so that even though you're not seeing it all complete, you're seeing at least how I'm incorporating the colors for the challenge, if you're interested. So I have coming up plans for, well, of course I will be showing the pages that I completed for March. And despite being in a slump, I actually have a fair number of pages to complete, or pages completed. I do still have a fair number of pages to complete too. But I hope that they will be done in time for that video. And I need to think about what I want to color in April. And I would like to put out a video for that because I just enjoy doing that. Um, I do have a little bit of a haul video. It's not, well, it's not as small as I had hoped because I was planning on not really spending anything. That was the goal. I didn't do too bad. I did not do too bad, but I do have some things to share. Um, a few things that I'm kind of excited about that I was really excited to find and get. So I'll be sharing that soon. I have a few ideas for some videos with coloring tips in them. So that'll be coming up in April. And of course, April will have another Coloring Outside the Book episode, which I have already planned out, so that will be fun to share. And have some ideas for, I'd like to try and include the furry members of my family a little bit in April, so stay tuned for that. I have some ideas for that too, so I think that would be fun. What else? Oh, I got, it will be in the haul video, but I have a budget watercolor palette that I bought and I've had a chance to try out, and I think I will probably do a little review video on that. I do like to give some budget supply ideas as I come across them for people, because I know I'm operating on a more limited budget, and I'm sure other people are too, and it's nice to hear about things that, you know, are maybe more accessible than some of the more expensive supplies, and to know, especially if your money's tight, that when you're spending it, you're going to be getting something good and not something, low quality. So I do have a review video for that I'd like to do. Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun month coming up. I have a few other ideas as well. So stay tuned for sure, because there's good stuff coming. I hope. I plan. The goal is good stuff coming. So, all right, let's see here. Kind of thinking I may want to go over and do a little bit of the frame, just so you can get an idea and see that color in action here, more than just the little tiny bits of shading that I did there. This is going to be, that's the one thing with the Coloring Heaven magazine, is it's just hard once you get to this side here. That bump makes it harder to work with. But here we go. We're going to get this going so you can get the idea of that. Oh, I have to say, I think I like the way the Prisma's color on this paper a bit more than the Starjoy Gold. All right. Yeah, and this is just going to be straight coloring through. I'm not going to do any fancy shading on the frame. I just want it to be a solid of this color, so that's fine. Actually, I just realized this color that I picked is called Midnight. It's pretty aptly named for this. Make sure I'm still in frame here. There we go. This is another good excuse to pull these Coloring Heaven magazines out and make sure that I'm actually coloring in them too. I do have quite a few from them that have no color in them whatsoever yet, and it's not for lack of liking them, it's just lack of time. But I'm glad to have some color in this one now. Go down and get this down here. There we go. Touch there. So if you're coloring something along as you're watching this, I'd love to hear what it is you're working on. I know that's what I tend to do with when I'm watching coloring videos on YouTube, especially color and chats, is you know, I'm coloring right along too, looking up every now and then and getting some inspiration from someone else, but yeah, so I'd love to hear if you're coloring as you watch. I'm going to do one more segment and then I will call it a video. All right, so there is what we have going so far. I might bring it out a little bit so you can get a better look. All right, so here it is. I do have a little bit more of the leaf work done on it, so it's a little bit further along than when we were zoomed in closer. But yeah, I like how it's turning out. This is definitely a fun challenge. I like how it kind of forced me to use some colors that I wouldn't necessarily have put together, and you know, kind of getting creative with how I put it on the paper. So thank you so much for joining me today and for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!